A Bracco e a Fundação Bracco realizam diversos projetos educacionais, não apenas o projeto Diventerò, mas entre outros projetos bem bacanas, que um deles se chama Bracco Under 40. E estou aqui entrando online ao vivo conosco com o Dr. Domênico e o Dr. Carmelo, que irá contar também como eles realizam esse projeto Bracco Under 40 na Itália.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
I will start this presentation. I'm happy to be here to present this project at SPR. This will be a shared presentation. Domenico will help me in the first part, and then he will take the podium, the virtual podium, to continue. Next slide. I'm going to present you the View 40 project, but first we start from who we are. I am Professor Camillo Messina from Milan, and I will talk together with my colleague and friend Domenico Albano. We are both radiologists at CCS Galeazzi Sant'Ambrogio, the place where Paolo were spending her time very nicely, and we are working also at the University of Milan. Next slide. Before starting to talk about the View 40 project, we need to consider that it is really important to have connection with the national society. And everything in Italy almost started in 2018 with the born of the young SIRM. SIRM is the Italian Society of Medical Radiology. And in 2018, the young SIRM was created with the aim to facilitate the aggregation of young radiologists and the mutual knowledge of radiology activities, and to encourage the participation of radiology within the society, the old, let's say, society, the senior society. Also, we wanted to promote scientific research and the exchange of medical scientific information, and possibly to have a connection with other young group society. Next slide. We are talking, the SIRM, the National Radiology Society of Italy, is quite big, so we can count for just the young member of about 3,000 radiologists under the age of 33 years old, and the participation of young radiologists at Medical Congress is quite huge, quite big. So just to give some number, at the Congress in Rome, the National Congress in Rome, we had 1,700 members. Next. This is important also because we saw during time that this is the trend of the born of a youth society within the big society is a trend that is going on during time. That these are several young society that were born within, for example, the ESSR, the USOBI, the European Society of Cardiac Radiology, and so on. But also we have national society that were born within the big national society, such as the French society or the Belgian society. So this is a trend that it's going on. Next slide. And this led us to the born of View 40 project, which was born just 1 year after the born of the young radiology society in Italy, with the aim of, with a similar aim of the same young, but of course, we were more focused on sharing the knowledge about the use of contrast medium in all the discipline of radiology. So this was the main aim of the project, and we started to organize conference, webinar, dedicated session during national conference, and of course some interesting features like the case quiz contest. It's the thing is that during the COVID, we had, of course, we were stopped, and this was an essential help, support during the COVID pandemic, because we were still sharing ideas and knowledge during these very difficult times. Next slide. One thing that is very important when View 40 started is the fact that we had a big connection with the young national society. So if we consider all the people that were under the age of 40, there were about 7,000 members that were contacted, that were involved in this project. So we are talking about a very big number. Next slide. And this is something that it's important, because what happened when we talk about these people is that when you organize a session, like for example in Rome in 2022 during the National Congress, we can count with a very, very huge number of people that are interested in our activity. This is an example of the room. Next slide, please, Domenico. And this is another example. We were moderating this session, and the room was really, really crowded and really full. And so this is the fact that the young people are really interested when you give them some knowledge, some activities that are focused on their level. Next slide, please. And this is an example of the funny things that we did during the Congress. It's the Young X-ray Factor. It's just we am here, Domenico, and other young radiologists that were involved in the View 40 project. And it was really funny. If you can go on, Domenico, I'll show you some of the activities that we did. It was like a case-based quiz session in which all the people can participate directly with an app, like voting. A live voting session, and this was really interesting. Of course, there were some prizes which were sponsored by Bracco, and this was something that it's really attracting for people, because now the way we learn is completely different. We also use quizzes and similar things, and these are the born of the two courses that we developed in Milan and in Rome. These are courses that are really focused on people under 40 with moderators and lecturers that are all under the age of 40. Please, Domenico, next slide. Of course, we met together during the Congress activity. It was at ESCR, and the other picture was in Rome, in which we have a dinner that was organized under the aegis of View 40 project. And of course, this is something very important, because we can meet during Congress activity, and during the Congress we want to do activities with the Bracco under 40. Next slide. I'm almost finished. Yes, this is my last slide. The importance of our connection within the View 40 project is reflected also on the scientific activities that we have. We were able to produce different papers on different topics, always related to the use of contrast medium. And of course, this is very important also for enrich our curriculum. So my part is finished, and I'm pleased to give the speech to my colleague Domenico.
Thanks, Carmelo. Just a few more slides about the future of this project, the next step, because we, as Carmelo said, we are talking about a national integrated project between the Bracco company and the National Italian Society. But the huge participation, the good feedback to this project has led us to propose this step, which is the internationalization of the View 40. Beyond the national borders, and of course, why not beyond the European borders. And we have launched this idea at the last European Conference of Radiologists in Vienna. And we will launch this project also at the RSNA in November in Chicago. We must admit that it's not so easy to do that, because it's when you are in your country with your friends and colleagues, you have connections. It's not the same abroad, of course. So we need support. We need to have representatives from different countries to create this international network. We need people like Paulito, like Anna Paula, people who want to be actively involved in this project. So the future will be traveling View 40 conferences, of course, associated with webinar activities, because we cannot organize so many conferences in all countries, but webinar activities could be an option. And as our colleagues said before, it's important also for another side, the fellowship programs that can be improved, because these connections may make easier to organize these exchanges between the referral conferences. But the main aim is always the same: spreading knowledge about contrast media. This educational courses, these case quiz sessions are always aimed to provide education about the choice of contrast media, imaging protocol, interpretation of imaging findings, and why not also the management of adverse reaction to contrast media. This is the way to share ideas and organize projects, also scientific projects, and improve ourselves in our clinical practice. Of course, we really thank Bracco for this, because they supported us in the organization of such activities, which are not so easy to organize with large societies, with public administration. So the help of the private companies make it easier and faster, which is what we need when dealing with young radiologists. And of course, it's also an opportunity for a private company, which can be the reference for young radiologists worldwide. So this was the first integrated project of a private company, a radiology company, with the largest young society of radiologists in Europe. So we really thank Bracco, and we really thank the SPR for giving us the opportunity to share our project.
Grazie Carmelo, grazie Domenico, è stato un piacere ascoltarvi. Em nome da Bracco do Brasil, nós gostaríamos muito de agradecer a participação de vocês e poder estar aqui conosco na SPR TV falando sobre esse bonito projeto. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bom, como ver, o projeto Bracco Under 40 ele existe na Itália e em breve estará aqui no Brasil. Então, fiquem atentos às redes sociais da Bracco Imaging do Brasil, ao LinkedIn e ao nosso site. E também, para ter mais informações sobre o projeto Diventerò, que já existe desde 2015 aqui no Brasil, fiquem atentos ao site da Sociedade Paulista de Radiologia, também às redes sociais. Gostaria muito de agradecer a presença da doutora Ana Paula e do doutor Paulo, e doutor Fernando, também a Fundação Bracco, né?
Muito obrigado, então, a todos vocês que nos escutam aqui agora. Um agradecimento especial em nome da Fundação Bracco, à Sociedade Paulista de Radiologia, a todas as diretorias que desde 2015 incentivam e participam ativamente na seleção dos bolsistas que são escolhidos e que a cada ano, então, vão à Itália para passar esse programa de 6 semanas no projeto Diventerò. É sempre um prazer continuar com esse projeto no Brasil. Em nome da Fundação Bracco e de Gaela Bernini, gostaríamos de agradecer a todos e fiquem atentos. Em breve, provavelmente daqui a 2 ou 3 semanas, inscrições abertas para o grupo que irá à Itália, então, em 2024. Muito obrigado.
Obrigada.